Hello and welcome to LLTV. Today we will be covering Man on the Street and an interview with the camp owner Andy and lots of fun stuff.
Now let's take it off to our good friends for a segment we like to call Man on the Street at Liberty Lake Day Camp. Off to you guys now.
So DJ, what is better, cats or dogs?
Oh man, I've pondered this question for a while, and I've realized that dogs is the right answer. Dogs are just loyal companions, man's best friend. Cats, dude, they'll scratch you, they're all scary, they'll just like hide the whole day.
Protect you.
Dogs protect you.
Do you like cheese, no cheese, extra cheese, or bring on the cheese? Which one?
No cheese.
Agree to disagree?
Augie, what's better, waffles or pancakes?
You know, I think I like waffles more, so I'm gonna go with waffles. When you're putting syrup on pancakes, it goes everywhere. You put syrup on waffles, it stays in the holes, so it's a much neater, cleaner experience.
What's your favorite part about hula ball?
That it's like Foursquare.
What's your favorite part about Foursquare?
That you can get people out.
Am I getting oddly annoying while asking you too many questions?
You're out.
No.
Why did you choose to work at specifically the Snack Shack instead of one of the electives?
Well, I'm an art teacher during the year, and so I don't want to be an art teacher all year round. I like to take a little bit of a break, and the Snack Shack gives me that break, and I like seeing all the kids instead of just a few kids during the groups all the time.
What's your favorite part of camp?
Definitely being with the campers, the staff, playing basketball with them, getting to hang out with them, and being in the junior division. And actually, I wish I went here when I was a kid because you have so many different things to do. You have art, you have archery, you have sports that you can play, and I feel like you're never bored.
By the way, this segment is sponsored by LLTV Coffee.
Isn't it great?
Hi, Andy.
What's up, Nathan?
Why did you want to start a summer camp?
Why do I want to start summer camp? That's a great question, because I think that when you're alive as a person and you have like one chance in life, right? Your whole life, it's your life to make an impact and to do awesome things that people are going to remember forever, right? Think about what I get to do here. We get to run a camp with 1,000 kids every single year to have an awesome summer, and some of them come here for years and years and become counselors, and some people even end up having kids that they send here. We have campers now whose parents were campers. So what a cool opportunity, what a cool thing to be able to do. So I sort of just fell into it that way.
What's your favorite dog?
My favorite dog? You mean of the Liberty Lake dogs? Yeah. Well, first thing first, camp directors, counselors, we're not supposed to have favorites, okay? So because we don't want to hurt people's feelings, okay? But the brown dog, Cali Bear, that's the one that comes home with the Pritikin family. So that's like sort of my daughter in a way, this dog in a way. So I love Rosie, love Grayson, right? And by the way, Rosie and Callie are sisters, but Rosie at night goes home with Brandy, who's also, one of the directors who's been here since day one. So I love them all, but, sort of like my child, Cali Bear.
So your favorite's your dog?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that another dog, is as awesome as the one that I spend all the time with,
How did you design this whole property?
How did I design it? Liberty Lake, before we started the camp, was a picnic ground. So it was a place where people come and have like family reunions and corporate parties and graduation parties and fundraisers and things like that, charity events. So the layout was already here. There was already one pool. And then there was a bunch of stuff that was nice but not great. So when we first came here, we rented it for the first few years. And then when I ended up buying it, then I was like, what do I want to do, right? So the first thing I did was build an amphitheater, because I thought it was really important to have a great stage for everybody to perform on. Then I built the new basketball courts, because the old basketball courts, really bad, right? And then I built the smaller pool, because they only had that one big pool, and as you guys know, when you go into that big pool, it's pretty deep, right? So I had to build a smaller pool. And then it's just like you come up with ideas and you figure out where you can put things, and you don't want things to be too crowded, right? And then also, one of the cool things about Liberty Lake is that, like, we're sitting right now in the only indoor place at Liberty Lake. It's an outside camp. So you have to take that into consideration too. Shade and pavilions and tents and all that kind of stuff. So it's a slow, long process, but we try to think really hard about that kind of thing. But the way everything was laid out before sort of helped create what is now.
What electives do you like better?
What electives? Well, I'm a musician. Okay, so I used to play in rock bands and all that kind of stuff. So my favorite elective is rock band elective, because I love seeing kids get up on stage who just learned how to play an instrument, and then they perform in front of 1,000 people on a Friday. That's really cool. So that's a big one for me. I like the electives also that are the kind that kids don't normally do at home, right? So like boating and fishing and archery, those kind of things. And then I also love the electives that are like the simple, easy ones that kids could just play on a playground, like hula ball and gaga and wall ball and wiffle ball. So those are some of my favorites. But every year I have new favorites, right? So this year, my daughter's working here, and she's teaching fitness and nutrition. She's teaching yoga, which I think is pretty neat.
What inspired you to make the bus competition that every busser loves to hear their name get called?
The bus competition? Like you mean the bus spirit when they add up the points and we announce it on a Friday? So I got that idea from my friend's camp up in Toronto. It's called Camp Robin Hood. So I'm really good friends with them, and they came up with the idea. So I actually borrowed their idea. Okay, but that's what good camps do. We borrow ideas. I copied it, yeah, but we made the Liberty Lake version of it, But I think it's such a cool idea, right? That camp should start as soon as kids get to camp, as soon as they get on the bus. So I think it's awesome. I think it's a great idea. And guess what? Lots of camps are doing it now because of the success that we've had here at Liberty Lake and from my friends up at Camp Robin Hood.
You've never heard of this place, and this is your first year. How do you think you would like it as a kid?
That's a very interesting question. I think that at first it might seem a little overwhelming because there's a lot of kids here and everybody's like really friendly, right? It's really friendly. Everybody's really friendly. But I think it's great because when I was your age, I wasn't a typical boy like that just played sports and stuff like that. So I loved music, and I love art, and I love sports. And I like zip lines and things like that too. So I think it's a cool program because I would get to do all those things that I like to do, because in most camps they don't do that. In most camps, the groups stay together and then they all go to things that the camp director thinks that everybody's going to like. So, here at Liberty Lake, the group gets to split up and the kids get to do all those unique things and then come back together. So we could still do chocolate pudding tug of war together as a group, but then if I want to go do rock band, then, and I'm the only one in my group that does, then that's still fine.
Is there a new elective that you want to bring back or make?
A new elective we want to bring back or make? Well, every year, we get ideas, but the problem is that we have so many electives. So my deal with Brandy is that any new elective that we have to take away an old one because we can't have too many. So this year we brought back spa. Another thing we brought back this year, we brought back business club. So that's the Shark Tank elective that we're doing for business club, where kids come up with original business ideas. So we do bring things back. A lot of the electives we have, it depends on who's teaching it, right? Because if we didn't have somebody as cool as Jay, we might not even have LLTV, right? So it all depends on who is running that can run a thing. But sometimes we hire people and they're just like, hey, guess what? I can do a yo-yo elective, and then I'll have a yo-yo elective. We used to have a yo-yo elective, but I don't have any great yo-yo people anymore. So any of you guys out there, okay, when you get older, when you get to be 16 and you can work here, if you're really good at yo-yo, I'd love to bring back the yo-yo elective.
And that was our camp owner, Andy. Weren't his answers interesting?
Andy is such a nice person, and Liberty Lake is definitely my favorite place to be during the summer.
I agree, but the sad thing is that there's only 8 weeks of it.
Definitely.
By the way, this segment is sponsored by air conditioning.